Hey, what's up guys, this is Shukesh once again and welcome to another intense battery drain test. The devices I have for you today are mostly under 10,000 rupees, that is $150, and I have included the all new Motorola Moto E4 Plus with a 5000 mAh battery. I just want to check this phone and compare it with its competitors, especially Xiaomi devices, since Xiaomi smartphones offer better specs in terms of CPU. So without any further ado, let's actually introduce these devices one by one. The leftmost device is the all-new Nokia 3, Nokia's first Android attempt, and the battery inside is actually quite small, 2630 mAh lithium ion. It's actually not bad considering the specs and the screen size, but the other devices I have with me right now are much better in terms of power backup. The current price of Nokia 3 is 9500 rupees. This is Xiaomi Redmi 4 priced at 9000 rupees, that is I have the 3GB RAM variant with 32GB storage and the battery inside is 4100 mAh lithium polymer. The 2GB RAM variant cost just 7000 rupees, and considering the specs, this is probably one of the best devices at this price point. The next device will cost you 7000 rupees as well, but the specs are nowhere near Redmi 4. It's Moto C Plus with a 4000 mAh lithium polymer battery. Now the next device is of course the star player today, is Motorola Moto E4 Plus with a 5000 mAh battery, the biggest here, and it's also quite heavy, 198 gram. The price of this phone is 10,000 rupees and it's also a very beautiful looking phone. The last but not the least, we have here Redmi Note 4, the best phone under 10,000 rupees if you are going for the 2GB RAM variant, though I have with me the 3GB RAM variant with 11,000 rupees price tag. The battery inside is 4100 mAh lithium polymer. I should also mention this is the only smartphone here with a Full HD resolution screen, and the Snapdragon 625 processor is much more powerful compared to the rest of the devices here. Now before we start the speed test, I want to quickly mention that there is no SIM card installed, Wi-Fi and rotation are on, location is also on and is set to high priority. I have disabled sync, NFC and all the added smart features. The screen wallpaper and brightness are also same. The OS is up to date and looks like some of the devices are updating some apps, so I will wait for that to finish. As I just mentioned, the location is set to high priority and it's very important. Guys, all the updates are finished and the batteries are now at 100% mark, so without any further ado, let's get started with the battery drain speed test. The first thing I'm gonna check is the standby time, that is the screen off time, and let's start the stopwatch, cut off the power supply, turn off the screens, and I will come back after at least 12 hours, so stay tuned. Guys, it's 13 hours and 30 minutes on the stopwatch, so let's quickly check the battery status. First we have the Nokia 3 and it's at 92%. That means the screen off time is around 7 days, not bad actually. Next we have Redmi 4, which is currently at just 85%. If you are a Redmi 4 user, you know that the battery backup of this phone is actually not that good. Heat management is also quite poor. At this rate, the screen off time is around 3.7 days. Next device we have here is the Moto C Plus. It's at 94%, very impressive. At this rate, you can expect standby time of 9.3 days. Next device we have here is the Moto E4 Plus with the 5000 mAh battery, and this phone lost just 3% battery, so the standby time is approximately 18.7 days, which is I think the highest I have ever seen on any battery drain test I have done so far. Well, the battery just drained to 96% and still the screen off time is around 14 days. Last but not the least, we have Redmi Note 4 at 95%, 11.2 days of standby time, and if you consider the battery size, the amount of battery drain of Redmi Note 4 and E4 Plus are actually very close. 200 on the E4 Plus and 205 on the Redmi Note 4. The next test will be on the screen on time, that is, I will keep the screens on for 1 hour and check the battery status and get an idea about the screen on time. Well, all set. I have turned on the screens at 13:30, so I will come back at 14:30. Guys, 1 hour has passed, so let's quickly check the batteries. Nokia 3 is now at 82%, that is 9% battery is lost. The screen on time is 11 hours and 7 minutes. Next we have Redmi 4 now at 78%, that is 7% is lost. The screen on time is 14 hours and 17 minutes. Moto C Plus is now at 89, that is it lost just 5% battery, so the screen on time is approximately 20 hours. Moto E4 Plus also lost 5%, so 20 hours of screen on time, same as Moto C Plus, but it has a bigger screen, so that's reasonable I think. Redmi Note 4 drained 6% of its battery, so the screen on time is 16 hours and 40 minutes. The amount of battery discharge is 246 mAh, whereas Moto E4 Plus lost 250 mAh, so very close. Now the next test will be on gaming, so let's start a game. First let's play a medium graphics game, Subway Surfers. I will come back after 1 hour. I will also check the temperature of this phone, so stay tuned. Well guys, before I show you the battery status, let's quickly check the temperature. Redmi Note 4 is at 43 degrees Celsius, not bad actually. The heat management of Redmi Note 4 is actually very impressive. Moto E4 Plus is at 48 degrees Celsius, so there is serious overheating on this phone. The MediaTek 6737 processor is to blame here, of course, and the back part is actually not as hot as the front. So I'm actually quite disappointed with this phone. The battery backup might not be as good as I thought. Moto C Plus is actually not that hot, but still it's 44 degrees Celsius. Redmi 4 is also at 46 degrees Celsius. As I mentioned earlier, the heat management and the battery backup of Redmi 4 is not good. Nokia 3 is at 44 degrees Celsius, same as others except for Redmi Note 4, which is the best in heat management. That is why despite having the same amount of battery inside Redmi 4 and Redmi Note 4, Redmi Note 4 offers much better battery backup. So now let's have a quick look at the battery levels. Well, I'm actually somewhat surprised. Redmi 4 lost just 13%, so does Moto C Plus, so with a full charge you can play Subway Surfers for 7 hours and 41 minutes. Moto E4 Plus lost 14% despite having a much bigger battery. I should also mention here Moto C Plus and Moto E4 Plus share the same CPU and GPU. E4 Plus packs a 25% bigger battery compared to Moto C Plus, but looks like the battery backup of these phones are actually very close. As you know, C Plus is also 3000 rupees cheaper. Redmi Note 4 lost 15%, so 6 hours and 40 minutes of gameplay is possible. Now let's have a quick look at the Nokia 3, which lost 26%, which is not acceptable in terms of battery. This is the worst smartphone in its class, I will say. You can play Subway Surfers for 3 hours and 50 minutes only. The next game I'm gonna try is Brothers in Arms 3, a very high graphics game, so let's see what happens. Guys, exactly 1 hour has passed, and before I check the battery levels, let's quickly check the temperatures once again. E4 Plus is overheating, it's now at a maximum 48 degrees Celsius. Redmi Note 4 is also quite hot, now at 45 degrees Celsius, but considering it's a very high graphics game, there is nothing much to worry about, but still these phones are hot. Moto C Plus is also at maximum 45 degrees Celsius, 46. I repeatedly mentioned Redmi 4 suffers from serious overheating issue. It's now at maximum 50 degrees Celsius, so that is a serious issue of course. Nokia 3 is also hot as usual, it's at 46 degree maximum. Now let's check the batteries. Well guys, I am actually somewhat surprised to see Redmi Note 4 lost 16%, now at 58%, so 6 hours and 15 minutes of gameplay is possible, but it's worth mentioning this smartphone is the only device with capabilities of handling Brothers in Arms 3 at high FPS, though Redmi 4 can also handle this game but not as smoothly as the Redmi Note 4. Redmi 4 lost 17%, that is just 1% more, so 5 hours and 53 minutes of gameplay. Battery drain on the Nokia 3 is as usual very high, 23% this time, so 4 hours and 21 minutes of gaming is possible with a full charge. Now Moto C Plus and E4 Plus lost exactly 14% each, and the gaming time is 7 hours and 8 minutes. So if you are on budget, you can actually go for Moto C Plus since you have the same CPU GPU, only the build quality and the cameras are poor. Next, let's check YouTube playback. It's 16:42 on the stopwatch, so I will come back after 30 minutes, that is 17:12. Guys, 30 minutes of YouTube playback ate up 9% of Nokia 3, so you can watch YouTube videos for maximum of 5 hours and 33 minutes. Now both Xiaomi devices, that is Redmi 4 and Redmi Note 4, lost 5%, so you can watch YouTube videos for maximum of 10 hours at a stretch with full charge. E4 Plus lost 6% and Moto C Plus 7%, so the YouTube playback time is 8 hours and 20 minutes and 7 hours and 8 minutes respectively. The next part is very interesting. I will check the battery drain during videography, so let's start recording at their highest resolution and I will come back after 15 minutes. Guys, it's almost 15 minutes. Let's quickly check the temperatures. Redmi Note 4 is quite normal, E4 Plus is hot as usual, Moto C Plus is also normal, Redmi 4 is at 49 degrees Celsius, quite hot, Nokia 3 is also slightly hot at 45 degrees Celsius. Well, surprisingly, Moto C Plus lost just 2%, so the maximum recording time is 12 hours and 30 minutes. Both E4 Plus and Redmi Note 4 lost 4%, so 6 hours and 15 minutes of video recording is possible with a full charge. Nokia 3 lost 6% and Redmi 4 lost 5%. So 4 hours and 10 minutes and 5 hours of continuous video recording with a full charge. Let's now play another game. It's Asphalt 8 and I will come back when Nokia 3 dies. It's 7:30 on the stopwatch. I am stuck with this video for 1.5 days. I hope that you will find this video very useful. If so, then please consider liking this video and also sharing with your friends. Guys, Nokia 3 ultimately died peacefully after 45 minutes of Asphalt 8 gameplay, so let's quickly check the battery levels of the other devices. So Redmi 4 is at 27%, C Plus at 41, E4 Plus at 43 and Redmi Note 4 is at 38%. This game is on for 45 minutes. Let's play this for 1 more hour. So after 1 hour and 45 minutes of Asphalt 8 gameplay, you have 11% battery on the Redmi 4, so it lost 27%, so does Moto C Plus, so 5 hours and 22 minutes of gameplay. E4 Plus lost 25%, so 5 hours and 48 minutes of gameplay. Redmi Note 4 lost 26%, so you can play this game for 5 hours and 34 minutes. Very close actually, all these devices. So let's move on to the next game. I will come back after 30 minutes. Well, Redmi 4 drained 9%, now at 2%, so you can play this game for 5 hours and 33 minutes. Moto C Plus drained 7%, E4 Plus 8% and Redmi Note 4 6%, so you can expect gameplay of 7 hours and 8 minutes, 6 hours and 15 minutes and 8 hours and 20 minutes respectively. The next game I have for you today is Modern Combat 5. I will come back when Redmi 4 dies. After approximately 8 minutes, Redmi 4 gave up and the LED is still blinking. Right now Moto C Plus has 17%, 18% on the E4 Plus and 15% on the Redmi Note 4. So despite having the same battery, you still get 15% battery left on the Redmi Note 4, which is approximately 615 mAh. Now let's play this game for a while and wait for any of these devices to die. Looks like Redmi Note 4 is about to lose. Let's see what happens. This speed test is getting very exciting. Guys, there is a surprising turn of events. Moto C Plus died before Redmi Note 4. This phone is still warm, and Moto C Plus died exactly after 1 hour of Redmi 4's death, and 17% battery is lost in 1 hour, so 5 hours and 53 minutes of gameplay possible. Well, Redmi Note 4 is also about to die. It's now at just 1%. 14% is lost in 1 hour, so 7 hours and 8 minutes of gameplay. Now let's check the status of Moto E4 Plus. Well, it's at just 2%. So the difference is actually very small. Looks like E4 Plus is going to win this test, but don't forget that you have a 5000 mAh battery. Let's wait for Redmi Note 4 to die. I will come back after a few minutes. Well, both devices are still alive, but I think, well, Redmi Note 4 just died. So let's see the battery percentage of Moto E4 Plus, which is just 1%. As I just discussed, the battery inside this Moto E4 Plus is around 22% bigger than Redmi Note 4's, but still you get just 1% battery left. So I am actually not very happy. I expected around 10 or 15% of battery on this Moto E4 Plus when all the devices die. Overall, I will say Moto E4 Plus offers excellent battery life, best in its class, but Redmi Note 4 is actually very close. No need to mention Moto C Plus is also excellent considering the price tag, and it's much better than Redmi 4. So if you want a smartphone with longer battery life, you can actually go for Moto C Plus and save some money. I'm disappointed with Redmi 4, and don't even ask about Nokia 3. It's a complete disaster. That's all in this video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching this full video. It's one of the longest videos I have ever captured. If you think my effort was helpful, then please consider subscribing to this channel. I have a lot more interesting videos coming up. Check the description below for the battery charging speed test. This is Shukesh signing off. Have a nice day, guys.